Hey guys, Ash here, Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video. Glad to have you all here with me today. Hey, send us some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need them out there today. Guys, this is going to be a long overdue video. I should have made this video years ago. I'm going to put it in the description of every single one of my videos forever here, referring to a question that I'm asked every so often. And every time I am asked, I think, man, I got to make a video just like this as a disclaimer, right? Why are my teams not working like a YouTuber's teams, right? Why am I not able to do what you're able to do with these champions in the game? So we all know gear, right? I'm going to basically run down all the factors. Obviously, what you have for gear, the ascensions and all that stuff is going to make a tremendous impact on your account. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, let's just say you're able to build a champion with the same total stats that I have, but you're not able to clear the same content, right? So this is a disclaimer, and also just talking about the importance of a variety of different things inside the game. It's funny, I had an endgame player on back in the day, and he's like, man, your account is stacked. But I'm like, wait, your gear is better than mine. Your champions are better than mine. Why is my account so stacked? It's about the things that you can't buy in this game. That's right, there's still a few things you can't buy in Raid Shadow Legends.
Everything that guy just says, bullshit.
So even if I drop $10 million on Raid Shadow Legends tomorrow, I still wouldn't be able to get my hands on glyphs. As I look at a bunch of crappy glyph rolls, I still wouldn't be able to get my hands on glyphs, right? So glyphs alone, I mean, you can't buy that. You just have to farm. You're limited on your faction wars, right? And they sold glyphs like once, I think, in the 5 or 6 years. They're sitting on a gold mine of glyphs. Plarium, don't get any ideas, right? Give us something sacred in this game. But the other thing is Great Hall, right? Great Hall, area bonuses, both the advanced and the regular Great Hall, are big factors. And that's where I want to start in this video. All of my teams that you see on this channel, at least 99% of them are recorded on my main account, right? My main account, I've had this account for 6 years. I've also, newsflash, I spent $1 or $2 in the game, right? I'm not trying to hide that, certainly, and it's pretty obvious and evident when you look at my account. That all being said, look at my Great Hall. These bonuses are insane. I don't need to tell you guys that. That's why it should be a massive priority for everybody to, not care so much about losses. Just farm the hell out of your Great Hall and complete it as soon as you can. I always recommend kind of going for the counting stats like accuracy, maybe resistance, crit damage kind of early on. And then I kind of end with attack as my last priority, because only about half of the player or the champion base rather can actually benefit from that stat, whereas everybody benefits from pretty much everything else. Area bonuses, right? So every video that I show here on the channel has all of this, right? This is significant. Area bonuses. I haven't really prioritized the potion keeps the stuff that I can already complete, basically, right? Fairly easily. In the beginning, I worked a little bit on Fire Knight's castle, so you guys can see. I want you to see the perks that I am getting here. That speed boost alone, plus 20 speed, is huge in Fire Knight, right? Accuracy as well. Fighter's Den. And then most significantly on my account, and I want to talk about this, is going to be Hydra battles, right? You see this on not just my YouTube channel, but I'm getting flustered here.
I'm just a baby.
It's like I'm putting myself under the microscope right now, and I'm frying, baby. Every Hydra battle that I ever do on my account, that I ever do on my YouTube channel, is benefiting significantly from all of these bonuses that I took the time to farm live arena to upgrade on my area bonuses. So you guys should know that I'm getting this massive 80 accuracy boost is huge in Hydra, right? It's huge anywhere, especially in Hydra. The 20 speed boost, the 10 out of 10 ignore defense, 9 out of 10 defense.
Did you invite me back just so you could ignore me?
Actually, screw it. Let's do it. Boom. 10 out of 10 in defense, 10 out of 10 in attack as well, right? Cursed City a little bit there, 10 out of 10 in speed in Cursed City. So I wanted to show you guys that so you understand the benefits that I'm reaping from farming on my account. Now, that's not where it ends though, right? So I want to talk about really, you know about Great Hall, you know about empowerment and about awakening. So the crown jewel, the 325,000 player power, I remember the first 2 years, it took me, years before I had a team with this amount of player power, like the whole 4 champions on my arena team. Now I have 1 champion with that.
Dad, I'm proud of you. Dad, I think you've come a long way.
But he's fully awakened and he's fully empowered, right? And of course, that's going to pertain to a lot of champions. Now, the good news is when you watch YouTube videos, you can see that right on the screen. You see the empowerment, you see the star level. But obviously, if we look at the total stats here, I'm picking out my biggest whale champion just to prove a point of how much extra you can gain in these specific areas. Let's start with blessings. Look at the full blessing bonus, and now that the stats are standardized, it's going to apply to any champion of the game, right? That's massive. It's massive. Any mythical will get these bonuses on blessings. It's absolutely huge. The 20 speed alone, and then the empowerment in addition to that. All of these stats, 35 speed alone. We haven't even talked about the Great Hall in addition to that. This can be incredibly significant, and it will change what you're able to do with a champion, right? Again, just kind of full disclosure, and blessings are very, very powerful in this game. They're like the most powerful thing here, as you guys can see. Now, faction guardians, there are no mythical faction guardians, so nothing there, but masteries as well. You can see the classic arena bonus and the affinity bonuses as well here. And then look at the artifacts, right? Some of these stats, I'm getting more from these areas than I am the actual artifacts right on this champion. It's crazy. But guys, there's 3 other things that may be a factor as to why your numbers aren't the same, right? The big one is going to be masteries. Now, this is old news, but there's a lot of new players out there in the game too. If you have a speed tuned team, right? A team that everybody needs to be the exact same speed or a specific range of speed, you can screw that up in a million different ways, aka about a half a dozen here in the mastery department, right? What you choose for masteries will have a massive impact on what you're able to do in the game. Now, a quick disclaimer for new players out there, right? Because new players, one of the most confusing things in the game is masteries. It tends to be the last thing that players learn in the game because there's a lot of them and it's very unclear, you know, especially for beginners. What should I go with? Some seem very similar. So what really matters? I encourage you guys, even if you're going to copy your masteries from a website or from a YouTube video, that's totally fine. But just do yourself the service of reading every mastery and just taking 3 seconds to try to understand it, right?
I'm not going back to school.
Now, in terms of speed tuning, there's a lot of things that can increase or decrease turn meter. That will mess up your speeds because maybe a champion that you want to go last will cut in line, and especially over the course of a longer battle, that could screw up everything, right? So all of these rapid response, turn meter, right? Arcane celerity, turn meter manipulation. We have oppressor, the turn meter fill rate. We have timely intervention, turn meter messing up. Messing up, turn meter messing up, really, Ash? Messing up your turn meter. We have lore of steel can change your speed without you knowing it, right? And there's a true speed and a normal speed stat. So I'm not going to get into it, but there's a lot that goes into the lore of steel that you should be aware of as well. There's more. There's cycle of revenge, which will fill turn meter as well. So you want to take all of these things into consideration, right? Because masteries that sound really nice, really good, and are very good in a vacuum could impact your teams in ways that you just don't really comprehend until you have them out there in the battle. And sometimes we just don't notice, oh, it was one mastery that was screwing everything up for me. Of course, the last 2 things, guys, are going to be aura. Obviously, aura really matters. Having an all-battle aura for areas like Centranos and Curse City, acknowledging and realizing that other auras, like dungeon auras, even though it seems like Curse City might be a dungeon, will not work in that area. So choosing the right aura for the right content and the right team is going to be very, very important. Pretty obvious, but it is something that could change your results of the team that you're trying to replicate that you saw on YouTube. And then the last thing, which is probably the most important, is affinities. Affinities matters. It matters more than even the seasoned players, the seasoned veterans out there oftentimes give it credit for. I think that every year I play Raid Shadow Legends is another year where I really find myself thinking back, you know what? You underestimated, Ash, how much affinity truly does matter everywhere inside this game. It's a huge, massive advantage to have an affinity matchup advantage in any given situation, in any given dungeon, specifically in the arena. It impacts damage, it impacts the difference between a win and a loss, and debuffs and weak hits, and a lot more. Here, a quick tutorial for Affinity for new players out there and for veterans out there. You know, you can forget exactly what it impacts here, right? When an attacker has an Affinity advantage, they have a higher chance of a strong or critical hit. And when they have an Affinity disadvantage, their damage is reduced and they have a higher chance of a weak hit. Affinity advantage, 30% to hit a strong hit, 15 chance extra of a critical hit. Affinity disadvantage, 20% damage reduction, 35% chance of a weak hit, and 15% reduced chance of a critical hit. This is going to be absolutely insane in terms of taking advantage of the rewards that you can reap. It's also going to be absolutely insane in terms of the detriment if you do not listen to affinities, if you do not abide by the massive advantage and recognize just how much more powerful your champions and your team will be if you take the appropriate time and really acknowledgement that you need to have the right affinities going against the other right affinities, right? So you can see it right there if you want a screenshot, or you can just use good old Google AI and they'll break it all down for you guys. Man, Google AI, it's cost a lot of website clicks for me, right? Especially when I'm like Googling something wrong with me, like symptoms. I'm like, oh, AI overview. Don't need to look at whatever health clinic website I was going to click on. Anyway, with that digression, guys, we'll end the video there. Thank you for watching all the way till the end. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.